Up next on Just Fit with Grethe Geldehuys.
And then the next video comes, cereal's very bad for you. So he puts the cereal down, he makes eggs, and he goes, eggs is very bad for you. There'll always be someone who's going to convince you what you're doing is wrong. I try and keep my supplementations, and I want to say protein powders, things like that, to a minimum. You give me I almost want to say normal oily food, very refined sugars, things. I get so sick. Mostly the creatine's mechanism is pulling water into the cell.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to. Yes, it retains water, but it retains water within the cell. Having a partner as a coach is very bad.
Come on, you can do this.
If you want to get biceps like me, all you gotta do is masturbate. You know what I mean? I promise you, there's people are naive. Trust me.
No, 100%.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the upload.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Just Fit with Grethe Geldenhuys, who's a bodybuilder. And today we are obviously going to be discussing just fitness and bodybuilding and nutrition. Hopefully, as you are watching this video, you'll take something home that you can use and implement towards your own fitness to better yourself, better your health, better the way you think, the mental side of things. And without further ado, I want to introduce you guys one of the greatest, finest bodybuilders, elite we have here in South Africa, Miss Grethe Geldenhuys.
Nice to be here.
Welcome to this thing, man. How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's great to have you here.
Thanks.
How's your day been?
Going.
Just going?
Just going.
No. And obviously I'm guessing today you're not from Cape Town, are you?
Originally, yes, but I've been living in Joburg for 6 years now.
In 6 years?
Yeah.
Why Joburg? What's happening there?
Well, initially it was, so I'm a qualified physio. I did my community service in the Northern Cape, and then I applied to jobs all around, mostly Cape Town, and then the company that I now work for has a branch in Cape Town and in Joburg, so they didn't have a spot available in Cape Town, which is the one I applied for, and then I went to Joburg, and I've been there since.
Nice, man. How are you finding it? Is it the vibe good?
I like Joburg. Joburg's people are quite chilled and very open and friendly.
What are you saying about Capetonians, bro? Come on.
Listen, I grew up here, so yeah, it'll always be home, but I must say I've definitely adjusted to Joburg.
Nice.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I know people always have this thing of Joburg is a fast life.
It is a very fast life. So I think it depends on who you are as a person. To me, I'm a fast-paced person. I like things to get done yesterday.
Okay.
So to me, Cape Town sometimes frustrates me because it's so chilled. Whereas Joburg is sometimes Joburg also gets too much in the sense of people don't stop. And I'm guys, just step back.
That's crazy.
So,
I thought it was just a thing. I thought it was just a myth thing that you.
No, it really is. It really is. Like I said, not everybody. You obviously get some really chilled people in Joburg, and you get some really high-paced people. I think, especially with people moving from Joburg to Cape Town, I think it's getting more blended. But yeah, the general feel to me is always, look, I can't also have a genuine opinion because I've never worked in Cape Town. Okay. I was a student in Cape Town, but I never UWC.
Cool.
Yeah.
I always go to the Barnes. I say, hey, some people watching this know the Barnes is the place. I always used to.
Oh yeah. So I was at UW's, and then so I've never actually been let's say a working adult in Cape Town, so I can't really say what the work life in Cape Town is like. Obviously I know Joburg's work life.
Interesting, man. We found out obviously that you are into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And your inspiration for that, where does that come from?
So look, I started competing in 2016, and I always say I'm a bit of a cliche case.
Okay.
Because when I was never a limelight person. I never even at school orals, things like that. I hated them. I never did the pageants, things like that. I was the behind the scene person. So when I heard bodybuilding, I was no, the stage is not for me.
So you never liked being in a spot?
No.
That was never your thing?
Even now, I don't even though I'm very call it flamboyant.
Okay.
Right? I almost want to say it's a facade. It really is. I'm an introverted person, obviously with my job. I have to talk to people, so I've learned some social skills.
Yeah.
But at school, I was very withdrawn. And yeah, so like I said, I had a friend who did bodybuilding, and he was like, no, you should compete, because I used to swim. So the shoulders were always there. And then he was like, no, you should compete. And I was like, nah, that's not for me. Like, I'll train, like I've always been an athlete, like things like that. And then I had a bit of a breakup situation. I was like, I need a distraction. So I always say like, I'm a cliche case.
It's crazy what the breakup can do to a person, eh?
Revenge body.
Bro, I'm telling you. That's interesting though, because I feel like for most bodybuilders, they always say that I had a brother of mine who was into bodybuilding.
No, like, I mean, even my family, no.
My family, nothing?
My mom is a long distance runner.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to run at school, like, but not like far. And then my dad played rugby, played golf, like, but I must say, I think out of my family, I'm probably the only one who still, as an adult, continued with my sports.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so,
okay.
yeah.
You're persisting in it, and obviously you're doing great in it?
I am. Look, it's challenging, but I think also because I started at the age of, let's say, 20, like, it's been such a lifestyle. I don't know how to live not like a bodybuilder.
Nice.
Because I was a student, like when I said, like, as a student, I was an athlete. As a scholar, I was an athlete. So I've never not been an athlete.
So, like, obviously, your first year doing bodybuilding, it wasn't obviously just a smooth sail. Like, everything is just, I don't know, you can tell.
Yeah, no, look, I don't
think...
think...
on the stage in the first comp was like...
So I must say, like, I started in bikini, actually.
Okay.
And I only did bikini in 2016, and then I moved over.
Where did you place in bikini, your first show?
So very first show was Battle of the Titans in 2016.
Okay.
So I did PCA, and we were big. There was about 14 girls in the lineup, and I placed 6. So I was like,
halfway in here.
Exactly. So I did pretty well in my like very first show, and I had so much fun. Like, I was like, I mean, I remember the guy who coached me, like, he was like, just do one show. If you hate it, then you don't have to do it again. And afterwards, I went to go sit with him in the crowd with my tub of peanut butter. And I literally sat next to him, and I was like, he's like, and? I was like, we're starting again on Monday, right? He goes, I told you you'd love it.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
nice.
like the bug bit, and it just hasn't, like, stopped. Yeah.
So you're not obviously discouraged, because I mean, some people will go into the sport, or any sport they play, maybe it's bodybuilding or soccer or whatever, and they don't get the result they wanted at first. Because I'm assuming when you went on the competition, no one goes into a competition that idea that I'm gonna play 6th.
Yeah.
We all go into a competition with that idea that I'm either placing top 3, but first is where I always want to be. You know
Yeah. I do think that the fact that it wasn't something that, I don't want to say it wasn't a goal. It was something, it was a distraction in a way.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like do it for the sake of it. So I think I didn't really care about the like placement. And then obviously I loved it so much.
Yeah, so you did it out of love rather
than like,
I need to do this.
Exactly. I mean, even like last year was the first time I actually placed first in a lineup. I've always placed second. And even with that, so I mean, that's literally
nice.
2016, 2017, didn't compete, 2018, 2019, 2020, I didn't compete, 2021, 2022, 2023. So, 2023 was the first time I placed first in a lineup.
Wow.
So literally
after 8 years.
After 8 years. Like, so, and I think it's, like I said, like, to me, even on show day, like, or like that week before show day, I'm just like, I just want to have fun. Like, I literally backstage, I'm so like, they struggle to keep me like sitting down, because like, I'm just so like vibey. I chat to everyone, I make friends.
And everyone just did like,
some people are so like,
where's my rice cakes? And
yeah. I think this year was the first, last year was the first year that I really like, I was sleeping backstage. Look, I was calm, but I wasn't really like socializing as much as I usually do. I was very much in my own. I think this year I was definitely gunning more for like, or last year I was definitely gunning more for that like position. And I literally, and like throughout my prep, like, cause look, my Instagram handle is the lady in red, right? And the pro card last year was red. And I was like, I want that red pro card, right? And because I said, it literally has my name written on it. It's lady in red, right? And then, so about 4 or 5 weeks before the show, one of my best friends, I went to him, and he has this very like, I almost want to say very like high confidence, right? I won't necessarily call it an ego, but he's always like, I will win, no one will work harder than me, everything. Very,
Muhammad Ali type of energy.
right, and I'm very much humble, like, what happens, right? And he was like, you're getting the pro card. I was like, don't add pressure. And he goes, I'm not like saying, I'm asking, are you getting the pro card? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, Greta, say it like you believe it. So like he has this thing of like manifest it, and I was like, fine, I'll get the pro card. And I don't like putting like an expectation on something, because that disappointment that comes with it.
It's very, it's terrible.
I know, it's like it hits you, and like I don't want to be discouraged from the sport that I love. But again, like even when I didn't get it, like the girl who won absolutely deserved it. She's phenomenal. I mean, she's won like lineups, and she started competing I think before me, like so she's been a competitor for very long, and absolutely brilliant. So I knew I still have work to do, and I don't mind putting in the work. Like I think it's one of the things that I love is not just the stage, it's that process of getting on stage, like working on the improvements, actually seeing improvements when you like take your photos from the year before and you compare it to your recent photos and you go, I actually did make the improvements. I might not be where I want to be, but I made improvements.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like when people go into any sort of sport that's competitive, we always have the idea that like within 3 years brackets, I have to. I mean, I do stand-up comedy, and then sometimes we'll be like in buildings, and then there's like competition festivals.
Yeah.
And then you kind of label this like within 4 years I would like to accomplish that. Obviously, it's goals we all set apart.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it took you 8 years to hit that first place.
Yeah.
And many people, in my opinion, I've seen a few who just fall off in the first year or two.
Look, I think the other thing that also
Because of the expectation, like you said.
Yeah. So look, you have to have a goal. Like if you don't have a goal, then I mean, where are you going?
100%.
So, but I do think a lot of people, like, I don't think your goal should be a pro card. I honestly feel like your goal should be a pro physique.
Pro physique.
So like not necessarily the card and the status, but rather the body, because that's what it's about. Like, I mean, if you get your pro card and you substandard, like you're going to go stand against like international pros, and then you're going to fall away anyway. So I'd rather work another 2 years or another 3 years to get where I want to be than chasing a card without having the physique.
Interesting. And I was chatting to Raven Colby the last time, and I was asking him about the pro card thing you're discussing about now. I asked him, how does it actually work? And you started breaking it down to how it works and whatever, the inside and the niches and everything. And I asked him, how many bodybuilders do you know in Cape Town that actually own a pro card? He couldn't really name. What is it all about?
So look, I do think
I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into competing itself that I'm aware of. Look, I did bodybuilding when I was under 16, 15.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of started love having this kind of conversation with bodybuilders, even though I'm not a bodybuilder myself anymore.
Yeah,
but I still have that drive. I love being in the gym.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, like, the distribution of the cards is like minimal, and you look at the athletes, you're like, but what's actually happening in the background? What do you think?
Look, we do have some solid pros out there, hey? I mean, look at Muzi. He placed 7th at the Olympia. So like we do have like,
you all need to check out Muzi out, man. It's a beast, dude.
So look, and also such a humble person. So I'm his physio, and like literally such a humble person. Like I trained with him just before I came to Cape Town.
Nice.
And so chilled, like such a nice guy. And I did tell him when he got his pro card, I told him, you do know that you gave so many South Africans hope, because I mean, in order to qualify for the Olympia, so not only do you have to get your pro card, you then have to win a pro show. I mean, we don't have pro shows in South Africa, which means only pro qualifiers.
Wow.
Not in NPC. So the other federations have pro shows. I'm not sure about IFBB Elite. I know PCA often has pro shows, and IBFF also. But yeah, like the NPC only has international, like, well, you have to go international if you want to go do a pro show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, even competing locally is a lot of money. Someone once asked me, like, how much do you spend on a show? And I was like, I don't want to calculate it.
You don't want to know.
Because, like, I think, like, look, I'll do it, like, over and over again. But, like, I definitely could have had some, like, pretty luxurious holidays if I wasn't a bodybuilder.
Yeah, that sounds a lot.
Yeah. So, but now you have to, like, travel overseas. Plus you're competing, like, I mean, that's a lot of money. So I do think, like, there's only a handful of people who really, like, I don't want to say can do it, but are willing to do it. So yeah,
it's interesting. So in performance wise, what are you thinking about when you're in the gym, when you are hitting the gym, like,
so
what's going through your mind?
Yeah, so look, that's an interesting one, because as a physio, obviously I understand anatomy.
Okay.
So I always say I don't shut down when I'm in the gym. It's not my, like, downtime. I actually think a lot more, because I always think of, like,
a lot more.
Like, I think of, like, foot positioning, like, anatomically what everything means, activation, things like that. And so it's a very, like, look, I don't train when I'm angry, because, like, I can't focus. Like, to me, focus is essential when I'm training, because I do have to, like, think about, like, activation and, like, just focusing on, like, what I want to do.
Mind to muscle connection?
Yes, in a way, but it's also, like, I mean, my coach gives me my program to an extent, and then I change it according to, like, what I feel like works for my body and things like, because I have the knowledge as a physio.
Cool.
So yeah.
Interesting, man. Would you say you're more strict on yourself now compared to when you started?
Definitely, absolutely. I think because I started as bodybuilding as just a distraction, like, I wasn't as, like, I wouldn't say as strict. Look, I almost want to say peak, like, strictness, if you want to call it that, was probably 2017. I was OCD about meal timing, grammage, everything.
Hundreds.
Like, I mean, I worked in the hospital, and I would literally be on the 4th floor, and it'll be 10 o'clock, and I would run down to the physio department. Like, I would eat and I would go back.
Run is crazy.
Like, I was OCD. And then when I went to Joburg, like, I started seeing this guy, and he was like, I was like 10 weeks out from a show, and I was like, no, I need to eat now. And he was like,
oh, that's crazy. On the date.
Like, I was like, I need to eat. But he was a bodybuilder as well, right?
Okay,
so he got it.
Understood that.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you need to eat? And I'm like, chicken, whatever. He goes, okay, just chill, right?
You're gonna order that.
And he ordered it, and I realized, like, you can actually still have a bit of a social life without cheating on your diet.
Yeah.
So I've definitely calmed down a little bit.
Okay,
but I'm still, no, listen, it was exact times. Like, it was like, it made me very highly strung. I mean, if you distracted me, or if you, like, in any way, like, threw me off course, I would snap.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, maybe let's not do that, especially as a physio. I mean, like, patients come and go, people run over time, things like that. I was like, I need to be more flexible.
That's great.
So, like, I've definitely learned to be a bit more flexible, but still be, like, adhering to my life.
I mean, that just shows the amount of passion that you have for the sport itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The sport and, like, just physio. So, like, just the human body in general fascinates me. Yeah.
Interesting, man. I've got a few back pains here. But your mentality that you described, and obviously, does it apply in your personal life, day to day?
I do think so. I think, look, I wear a pair of, like, dog tags, and it's not like, a lot of people ask me, like, if they're medical. They're not. Both my parents were in the military.
Okay, cool.
So I definitely think, I used to have my dad's, but, like, these are custom made to me.
Nice.
And I do think, like, I've been raised with that, like, militant mindset, so that, like, I don't want to say, like, no pain, no gain, but, like, it needs to be done. Like, it doesn't matter how you get there, it needs to be done. So, like, if there's a challenge in front of you, like, find a solution, get it done. And I think I also go out with a mindset in prep that some things are going to go wrong. You can't have a perfect prep. It'll never happen. Like, I mean, the one year I had hail damage to my car. So there was a lot of things, and it was like 3 weeks before the show, and I was like, okay, what do I need to do now? What can I leave for later after the show? And I literally just had to sit and I had to sort it out. So you literally have to prioritize and plan. Like, and I've always been a very good like planner. Like I said, I'm OCD, so like planning is like very like crucial for me. But I plan with room for error. So I go, cool, like if this goes wrong, this is my backup plan.
Nice. That's nice. Because the question I was going to ask you after that was going to, I feel like you already answered it, which was, because sometimes things don't go according to plan. You plan something this way, and then next thing you know, this happens, that happens, and you still have to persist and be like, yo, I need to still hit. I still need to be in the gym right now, even though this just happened right now.
So I do also think that like your, I was going to say your like bodybuilding coaches will tell you this, like cortisol has such a big effect on the body. If you end up stressing about everything, that's going to affect you more than the actual issue.
Wow.
Does it make sense?
I feel like that's therapy right there.
So if you miss a meal, like stressing about it is going to make it worse than just missing the meal.
Thinking the whole time about
so you literally go, cool, I've missed the meal, move on.
Yeah, cool.
Like catch up on it, don't do it again.
Yeah.
Like, or try not to do it again, obviously.
100%.
But yeah, things go wrong. Like that's the life we live in.
Prepping for a show. What is that like? Because I mean, obviously you said you're not currently prepping for any show.
I'm starting when I go back to Joburg.
Going back to Joburg right now, you are settling down a little bit.
So I was on a diet break. My coach gave me a little bit of time off because I competed like a month ago. And then so I literally have like a month in between my two like preps basically. So my coach is like, cool, diet break, like just get your protein and your fruits in. There you go. So I'm not currently prepping, but I'm going back to prep.
For comp, of course. What is going through your mind when you're prepping for a comp? I mean, I feel like the mindset you have right now when you are not, as to when you need to for a show. It's two different.
It is, but I think I'm very much similar. So like, because I always like, I have a USN food bag and like it goes everywhere with me. In season, off season, doesn't matter.
It's like your purse.
It is literally, you will rather see me with that before you see me with a handbag.
That's hilarious.
My food goes everywhere with me. Obviously diet break, I stepped back a little bit this time. What
does a diet consist of?
Do you want the whole breakdown? Like, I have a good memory.
Go ahead.
So I usually start with like cream of rice and eggs in the morning. Obviously depends on like closer to the show, my like cream of rice will get taken out, things like that. Then my diet stays more or less the same. So in season, off season, just the calories slightly change, the quantities almost must say change. So in my off season I'll have a little bit more red meat, but it's usually like ostrich, chicken, things like that. Off season, my previous
lamb and all those things, pork.
So my proteins are eggs, egg whites, chicken, ostrich, sometimes like beef mince, but that's, like I said, that's my off season. In season, mostly chicken and fish.
Mostly chicken and fish. Tuna?
No, hake.
Hake chicken. Okay. Fish. Okay.
So I do really well on fish.
Okay.
So when you put me on fish, you can see it. Like my body changes like this.
Nice. So what's your thoughts on things like steak mince?
So I prefer steak.
You prefer the actual
I want the steak.
Okay, not the mince either.
No, I'm not a mince person. Like I do pure steak.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. How do you feel when people are cheering on a like when you're stage competing?
So
and people are right there and they're like, what feeling goes through your body?
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear or you just like
I black out completely. Like, well, not black out.
You're not the first person to say that.
I literally, like, sometimes you can hear like people like shouting and things like
your
that.
Number or something like
but like sometimes I don't even know what my number is. So no, I go in such a mode. Look, I'm a performer as well. Being a posing coach and being like posing is my passion. I love my posing. So when I get on that stage and I do my routine, it's such a almost want to say automatic response. I've practiced it so many times that I sometimes don't even hear my music. I literally go on such a rhythm.
Second nature, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't really hear like, I must say I focus on my posing and what I need to do, so I don't really listen to. I always, when we're in our comparisons, I usually look for my coach or my best friend at the back of the audience.
Okay, you keep an eye on those.
Or I look at my judges. I like having like eye contact with the judges. Like yeah, no, I'm
a crazy one.
But I must say, like I've had 1 or 2 times where the judges, like they look like they're not looking at you, and you go, I don't know, like this is weird. So that gets to me, right?
Yeah.
But I still, like, I have this thing, and I tell all my posing clients, I have a very like sassy personality.
Yeah.
So I will literally look at you, and I will flirt with you with my eyes. Like until you look at me, I will make you look at me.
Have you ever felt like a judge or like the judge that you got or the result that you got was a bit not fair enough?
So I don't like topping over a result.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like I do know that it happens that sometimes there's politics or whatever. Not my monkeys, not my circus. It's over. It doesn't help I complain about it. It doesn't help I like top about it. All I need to do is do it again.
So it does exist, favoritism, all those things.
I guess it does. Like, look, I sometimes sit in that crowd and people go, yeah, this guy should have won. I'm like, I don't know. Like, sometimes it's also what a judge prefers. I mean, unfortunately, it's a subjective sport. There is a criteria, but it's a subjective sport at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So what you prefer and what I prefer are 2 different things.
100%. Have you pulled a muscle on stage?
I have not. I've had calf cramps.
Calf cramps?
But I've luckily haven't like pulled a muscle. But yeah, also like now we're moving over to women's physique. I don't wear heels on stage anymore, so like not on my toes that much anymore. So that's great.
No, because I remember, bro, it's a very bad feeling. I pulled the muscle, but not in bodybuilding when I was like under 16 and stuff. But when I was running, I was athletic. You know?
Oh yeah.
I won't lie, man. I was doing northern zones.
Yeah.
And then I qualified for that. I was doing for 800 meters. There's 2 laps around.
Yeah. I used to be an 800 meter athlete.
Bro. And then I didn't know going against these guys, man. The guy shot the gun, boom, and then, this guy's just stopped.
Like, no, 800's are
800,
fast.
2 laps.
It's fast.
But in this first lap, so you're like, you warmed up and you're just trying to catch up with these people now.
Yeah.
You think it's because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't stop, bro.
Yeah.
Second lap, gang. These guys start taking off, and I'm not trying to like keep up with the pace and everything. And all I heard was, I don't lie, I didn't pull a cramp out. I just faked the cramp. They were too fast. They were
like,
too fast.
I'm done. Bye. I love it.
And I just fell on the side, right? And I was there like, guys, you're so outside, but like I pulled the cramp. But, I mean, I've seen a few people that was on stage and like,
yeah, so especially if you haven't practiced your posing.
It's a very uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. So look, it's like posing is not like my posing clients will tell you, like I'm a torturer. I will sit there and I will make you hold your pose. Like, because that's what you're going to do on stage. Yeah. Like, and if you're not posing fit, it shows.
Yeah.
Because your muscles, like if you can't hold that pose, like you start slacking, like you start losing that contraction.
Yeah.
So you can see the people who've practiced their posing.
What's the average time when they say like, is it a double bicep or like
it depends on your lineup. I mean, with women's physique, if I held my pose for like 10 seconds, it's a lot.
Wow.
But if you have 20 people in your lineup and it's a magnificent lineup,
bringing people the whole time, taking this.
Exactly. I remember like my one friend said, like with classic physique, they often like they big lineups and they can rejudge you, move you around, and they make them work, hey? So you have to be posing fit. So yeah.
What would you say is like recommended time to pose, like to try posing or practice?
So I do an hour session with my clients, right?
Every day, an hour?
30. No, so I only work weekends with my posing clients.
Okay.
But they do have to hold it during the day. Like I'm saying, every day. They think I'm out of my mind because I hold my poses in the sauna. So, because then
you hold your poses in a sauna.
Yep. They think I'm crazy.
In the sauna.
I literally I'm.
No, that's next level.
Yeah.
It's reminding me of this rapper. What's his name? Big Shaq. Remember the song Big Shaq that came out? The thing goes.
Oh yeah.
So he said, "Man's not hot," and he's like in the sauna. Man's not hot with the jacket on.
Oh my word.
So he's sitting in the sauna with the jacket. But
no, it gets like it. I mean, 30 minutes of posing in the sauna is a lot. I can't.
Yeah.
I can literally. I have 9 poses, right? So your quarters, and then my 5 mandatories.
how many minutes you sit in a sauna for?
So I usually do 10 minutes of posing, and then like get out, back 10 minutes. I do 3 rounds, but by round 3 I can't hold it for a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm done.
Yeah.
Like if I do posing in the sauna before my training, I will die. Like I won't make it through my training. It's literally, it takes so much out of you.
is
But
training,
when you get on that stage, it's effortless.
Nice, because of all the work that you put in.
Yeah.
I feel like most people like misunderstand, like they don't understand the fact that the work that you put in is always going to show out, like
100%.
eventually. You know what I mean?
Like you can't like.
It's never smooth sail. Yeah.
No, like sometimes you can cheat it to an extent, but like it'll show
Yeah,
eventually.
because they will look at you and be like, "Damn, I can do that." You know what I mean? But they don't
But
understand.
a lot of people will tell you like I make posing look effortless, and I'm like, no, I've trained myself
Bro,
to like.
hours and hours.
Yeah.
You
So
know, like,
yeah.
it's crazy. When you growing up as a kid, were you even different from your peers growing up? High
I
school?
feel like I've always been a bit of an outsider, even now. Like I don't associate myself with like, I want to say the in crowd. Like it's never been like my like forte. I'm a very, like I said, I'm an introverted person.
Yeah.
Like I like doing my own thing. I'm not a crowd person. Even in the gym, I don't mind training alone. I do sometimes train with like some friends and things like that. Majority of the time, I train alone. Like
You much prefer training alone? Or?
yeah, I would say I prefer it. Like, I mean, I had a gym partner in Cape Town that, like, when I used to live here, I mean, I loved it. But, like, I mean, also set the standard to, like, here. So now I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I'd rather, yeah. So, also, like, I mean, having a gym partner, like, your weaknesses are different. So, if I need to work on, like, my back and they need to work on their legs, we're not always going to be able to train together.
Yeah.
So yeah, like having a gym partner is sometimes hard as a bodybuilder. It can be done, especially in your off season, and like sometimes your workouts can overlap or you can learn from each other, but it's not having a consistent gym partner, I find, is not like realistic.
Cool. Yeah, because I mean, you are both in different worlds, pretty much.
I mean, especially me, because I train with the guys. So I mean, classic physique, women's physique, like your criteria is different. Like so.
I mean, that's how also you learn more.
100%. Like I like learning from those people. Like
training, and you're like, yeah, that's.
It's actually funny because when I first started bodybuilding, I never led a workout ever.
You
like
never?
led a workout.
Okay,
I would always follow them.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now I'm like, no, you following me.
Nice.
Like no,
Sassy.
I'm the like it's my workout. You follow me.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I think that's also come with the experience of knowing.
It's also the
and
confidence.
picking-
I mean,
yeah,
like it's
confidence.
ironic because I mean I was a physio, so like if anything, I would know the workout like and like the not criteria, but like target muscles and like what exercises for what muscles and stuff like
your
that.
position?
Because I'm a physio, right? But I never did. I was just like no, but it definitely came with confidence, like that I was like able to do more, like or lead more. So yeah.
What's your thoughts on nutrition, food?
In what way?
In the sense that, like, what type of role does it play in your day-to-day life?
Oh, it's
As a bodybuilder,
exquisitely
as a
important.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's also a lot of the times, like, I think my colleagues at work sometimes, like, have such an eye roll at me because they go, like, okay, cool. So after the show, can you, like, eat whatever you want? I'm like, no. Like, I go back to my... No, look, I'll have my snacks and stuff like that and I'll eat. Like I said, I'm on a diet break now. But the moment I get back in, like, my... Even off-season, I think that's where a lot of people make a mistake. They go, I'm off-season, meaning I train when I want to or I, like... eat what I want, and exactly. And then, like, I mean, a friend and I, like, literally sat at shows, and like a guy would have, let's say, not competed for 2 years, and they came back on stage and they look exactly the same. I'm like, what did you do for 2 years? I literally, if I look the same, the next time I get on stage, I refuse to get on stage. Like, I need to make improvements. That is my, like, ultimate, like, I almost want to say standard for myself. If I haven't improved, like,
it's a wrap.
Yeah. So my off season, like I said, my diet, every now and again, yeah, sure, I'll go out, I'll eat something different or whatever. But also I feel like because I've been like, call it dieting or eating healthy for so long, if you give me like, I almost want to say like normal like oily food, very like refined sugars, things,
just rejected.
I get so sick. I feel terrible.
Nice.
So it's not about like not wanting to eat. It's like I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
it affects
Wow.
my like workout,
That's deep.
everything.
That's very deep. Yeah, I think that's what happens when things become part of your lifestyle.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Bodybuilding is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So if you think of it as like
sport only.
just the 2 hours in the gym, you have to fall in love with the entire process.
The whole thing, yeah.
I mean, it's the sleeping, it's the eating, it's literally like I said, even your stress levels you have to manage
100%.
because otherwise it affects your body.
Have you ever had any challenges in bodybuilding? Any sort of challenges that you felt like, damn, were you like maybe doubting yourself a bit?
I feel like everybody, like, I don't know if you've heard the thing that bodybuilders always say, like, once you sign up for bodybuilding, you get constant body dysmorphia.
Really?
Oh yeah, like, because we're constantly criticizing ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, literally,
Oh, wow,
being
okay.
symmetrical is not realistic. Like, no perfect person. No, I'm telling you, as a physio, like, we do know that symmetry doesn't exist in the body. Like, you'll always have one muscle that's, like, because we're like, one-handed, right?
Yeah.
So you'll always have, so I'm left-handed, so my left side's on my arm, my left side's stronger. And if you've had injuries and stuff like that, it affects your muscle mass. So I feel like you're always like nitpicking. I mean, I literally hate check-ins because I literally sit with that check-in and I'll go,
Oh, man.
that's not equal, that needs to change.
no,
I
you don't
literally,
do that, do you?
no, I'll tell my coach, I'll see you in person, you can look at it, I don't want to see it.
Jeez.
Like, I don't want to, if I take my check-in photos, I will send it to him and I'll delete it off my phone. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I get so critical that I almost get discouraged.
But I mean, you are in very good condition right now in terms of, yeah, I mean,
I am, but I also know that I can be better.
100%. I mean, that's obviously the
But
mindset.
I've also learned that, and that's the thing, like a lot of people always tell me, how am I so comfortable with my off-season look?
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Because a lot of girls, I feel like, struggle with like putting on excess body fat and like being bigger, and especially with a woman's figure, woman's physique,
Yeah.
you have to put on some size, right? And unfortunately that comes with a little bit of body fat. And look, I'm tall, so I can get away with being a little bit bigger and without it looking like I'm,
yeah, absolutely.
But like, I also like, I know that it's part of the process.
Yeah.
In order for me to improve for my stage, I need to get into my off-season look. So you can't, like, look, some people are like genetically blessed that they hold conditioning phenomenally. And I think the more you compete, the easier you condition as well. Like with each like comp that I've done, like I've definitely seen that my off season has a little bit more lines, a little bit more this and a little bit more that. Because if you look at your Olympians, some of them like their off season, I'm like, geez, you can just water drop and get on stage.
Oh, wow, yeah, because
But
it's not looking well conditioned.
Exactly, but it comes with muscle maturity.
Okay.
And I think that's what a lot of people, bodybuilding is a long game. It's like, and I think that's why you said at the beginning, like some people, like after 2 years, they go, no, this is not for me.
Yeah, they just give up.
You have to, like, it's a long game. Like it's not a, look, you can make exceptional improvements in a year, but at the end of the day, to get muscle maturity, you
Step by
have to.
step. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Your thoughts on healthy food and fast food? I mean, wait, let's start like this. Do you have any cheat food that you much prefer? Like, if we were like, yo, since you're in your off season, what type of fast food would you go for?
Okay, so I'm not a like, let's say like fast food restaurant like person, right? I think also because it like upsets my stomach so much, but also like I'm the type of person, I'll do sushi.
Okay.
Like I like my sushi, or then I'm a steak girl, so like you can take me out for a steak dinner any day.
Okay, cool.
I literally, like my my one partner once, like he was my coach at one point, and that's a terrible idea. Like having a partner as a coach is very bad.
Tell me about that.
Like no, like because it's literally, it would have been like no.
Like,
It was,
come on, you can do this. You can do this.
so I literally, the one day I told him, if you put hake and cucumber in my diet, this relationship is over. You can't do that.
Oh, anything cucumber.
He was like, you can't do that. I'm your coach. I'm like, no. Like, let's just be very clear. If you put hake and cucumber in my diet, I'm done.
That's crazy, bro. Was that thing that was happening?
No, look, like I also like I pull his leg like on a daily basis. You have to understand my humor, right? So it was I knew, like, look, I'm the type of person, if I know I need to get shit done, I'll get it done.
Crazy,
but I threw it his way. I was like, we put hake and cucumber in my diet, this is over.
That's crazy.
But so we went out for dinner the one night, and he goes, you can eat whatever you want, right? And my last meal for the day was like steak and potatoes. I think it was potatoes. And what did I order? Steak and chips. He goes, that's basically your diet. And I was like, no, but that's what I like. That's what I like. It's what I prefer, right? So I loved my last meal because I could literally make myself steak and chips every night, right? But the only difference is I could have a glass of wine with it that evening. And then the second time we went out for dinner, he goes, if you order steak, I'm not paying the bill, right? And I was like, fine. So what did I order? Chicken.
Okay. Yeah.
No, like I literally.
I mean, it's still protein.
Exactly. I still, like, he's like, can you just eat something like a pizza or a burger? And I'm like, look, there are certain restaurants where like I love their pizzas, but I'm very pedantic about that because I don't like do cheat meals very often. Right? My coach rather gives me refeeds, right? So like a bit more rice, bit more like whatever. So when I have a cheat meal, it's something that I absolutely want, or I leave it. So I have certain restaurants that I'll go to, or like places that I'll go to for cheat meals. Like I said, sushi, and then like I like certain pizzas, like, but at certain places, and then burgers at certain places. I'm very fussy when it comes to those things. I'm not a fussy eater, but when it comes to like my cheat meals, if I only have a set, like, let's say I have one meal that I can have something, I'm going to have something I'm going to enjoy. That's my, like, otherwise I'll leave it. I'll eat my diet food. Like,
kind of interesting there. Obviously, with that being said, like, obviously, do you cheat? Have you ever cheated on your meal?
So I once, like,
given that you're like,
so I must say I'm a little bit of an emotional eater. So I live alone. So I have the, advantage of controlling what's in my house.
Nice. That's good.
So when I start a prep, there's no chocolates in my house.
Nice.
Anything that I can like binge on or that triggers me, I'll
eliminate that.
I give it away, like, or whatever, but it's not in my house.
I think it's quite easy to hold your diet in your house as well, because especially when you live alone, because you live with someone else or partner, then they may have a different type of craving.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're dating a bodybuilder, if they're off season and they want to have a packet of chips,
and it's going to be in the house. Now it's
So I can control what's in my house.
100%.
But I'll never forget it. I just started with my coach in 2022, and I competed in May, and like it was probably about like March or so, and I was like, Jules, you need to take the peanut butter out of my diet. And he goes, why? And he goes like, I was like, because if you keep peanut butter in my diet, I'm not getting on stage, because you can't put greater self-control and peanut butter in the same sentence.
You're full of humor. Sense of humor.
No, listen. Like,
what was the coach's response over there?
I know, he just laughed at me. He knows exactly. I mean, even with me, like he, when I did my prep last year, he was like, you're so much calmer this year. And I looked at him, I'm like, if you repeat what I'm about to say, I will deny it, right? He goes, and he looked at me, and I was like, yeah, it's because I'm single. He goes, Jesus Christ.
Crazy,
I was like, what? It's true. Like, I'm a very honest person. I'm a straight shooter. I'll say it like it is. And that's either you're going to hate me or you're going to love me. Like, I'll like, look, if I'm not going to say it, my face is. So,
someone must say it.
Like, I don't lie, because my face going to tell you the truth anyway. So you can see on my face if I'm not impressed. So
when it comes to supplementation, because I feel like most athletes or people who get into the gym, they're mistaken supplementation for food.
Yes.
What's the difference? Because I feel like when you look at supplementing, That's creatine, but my body produces creatine. That's protein powder, so which means I don't have to eat chicken. Replace that for the meal.
I think what a lot of people need to like keep in account. So I mean, if you look at a lot of your your elite bodybuilders, you take supplements out of your diet like 3-4 weeks, depending on your like coach and your body and whatever. 3-4 weeks out before your show, you take it out of your diet. I know some people don't, right? But it also depends on how your body metabolizes it. So look, like artificial sweeteners, it can cause inflammation. So obviously inflammation causes water retention. So look, if you're just a fitness athlete, like not getting on stage, then cool, keep it in your diet. But if you want to get crispy for stage, you might have to take it out. But it depends on your physique. So some coaches will keep it in because if you still like leaning out with it in, cool. But it depends on person to person. But when it comes to, I know like look, at the end of the day, your body metabolizes food. That's what it's
meant to do. Like
at the end of the day, your supplement still has a chemical component. And your body, like chemicals, there's still a chemical component. So I try and keep my like supplementations, and I want to say like protein powders, things like that, to a minimum. When I started off, I was like, give me everything, right? And then obviously as I learned, I was like, no, I don't need this and I don't need that. So and you learn how your body responds to it.
Are you sponsored to any sort of supplementation company or anything like that?
No, I'm not. So look, it also I used to work for USN. I was a promoter for them. And that's also where I learned a lot of my knowledge. In terms of like, what do you need, what's crucial, whatever. I'm not affiliated with any specific brand. And I also find that like, look, there are some brands that I like prefer, but it's because I look at the ingredients and I go, cool, this is what I need. Whereas like, and then with a different brand, like I'll use, let's say, their BCAAs because I prefer that. And also it depends on how my body responds to it.
What's your favorite supplement?
So brand or product?
Both.
Ooh, challenging one. I think I want to say like so I'm not a big whey person. Like I'd rather like eat food. Like I feel like it doesn't fill me up. So like I'd rather have a post-workout meal with or like a pre-workout meal wherever my whey is. And then if I do pre-workout, it's non-stim, right? So I must say, like, if I want to say results-wise in terms of favorite pre-workout or favorite like supplement, I would say like your GDA, your carb shuttle, and then my cyclic dextrin, like, because those are obviously volumizers.
Nice.
And even creatine. I mean, it definitely makes a difference. Like,
but isn't that retaining a lot of water?
Depends. Again, some people. So it depends. Some people like retain water on creatine, some people don't. Look, it pulls water into the cell, so it's supposed to pull it in the muscle. So it's not supposed to be extracellular. It's supposed to, creatine's like mechanism is pulling water into the cell. Like it's not supposed to, yes, it retains water, but it retains water within the cell. So it's not subcutaneous water. Obviously, if it spills, then yes, it is. But it depends on how you use it. So
what's your current drive?
My current
drive? Like, what is it like?
I don't know.
You just came out of a comp recently?
So that's the one thing I must say. Like usually post-show, and someone actually asked me, they were like, "How's your post-show blues?" Because that's a thing. Like after a comp, you come from this like, I want to say high pace, like high focus, and then all of a sudden there's nothing, right? You have no goal and like no whatever.
The question is what's next?
Exactly, and that's what they call like, and your body changes. I mean, like you literally like see your body like changing and things like that. And to some people that's like frightening in a way, right? So I must say, like, even in my peak week, like, I already knew what my next goal was. I knew that, like, photo shoots or whatever. So I always, even before I actually achieve my goal, I've already have my next one.
Always keep the calendar full.
Yes. Like, I always have my next achievements. Like, I literally, and that's why, like I said, like, I will literally take my, my check-in photos, and I go, okay, cool, this needs to improve, and I think this is one thing, and it's very daunting, but it's very, very effective. If you ever want to like, look, you get very critical about it, if you ever want to like really make changes to your physique or want to see where your standard should be, and this is something that like someone taught me, is take your physique, your check-in photos, and put them next to the current like Miss or Mr. Olympia in your division.
Okay.
So like, for instance, women's physique is Sarah, right? So if I take my pictures and I put it next to hers and then go, cool, if that's the standard.
See where you're lacking.
Exactly. If that's the standard. Look, it's daunting because you go, wow.
I'm very far
Exactly.
away.
But it definitely makes, because that's the standard. If that's what they prefer your Olympian to look like, that's what you need to strive for.
Yeah, so you put it next to each other. Yeah. It's like you're standing on a show with her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you then going, cool, her quads are bigger than mine, her shoulder caps are bigger, she has better detail here, that's what you need to work on. Yeah.
Nice. That's a very, I think I use that for my personal, yeah. Because I don't even saw this fitness guy on Instagram called Ashton Official or something like that.
Okay.
He creates this content, like gym content, where he's like, it was run and stuff like that. But that's basically the kind of body that I'm looking for.
Yes.
So I think what I'll do is just like take a photo of me, put it next to each other.
Exactly. Because then you can, because a lot of time you like think you need to improve in an area and you don't.
Yeah, you can see. I think that's a very, it's a brilliant. With the experience that you've gathered, obviously, I think it's a decade, 10 years.
Basically, started in 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, it's about 9 years.
Yeah.
What kind of tip or advice would you give to an upcoming bodybuilder?
I think this comes back to our conversation we had earlier. Patience.
Patience.
You need to have patience and knowledge. Like, I must say, like, I think if I had to go back and like advise like younger Grete, right, I'd go like, do your own research. Like, and if you look at today's social media, this influencer says this person says this. So like, take like research papers, not just like people's opinions, and like go look at what research says, like about supplementation, about bodybuilding, about training, about frequency. And like, then you have to like, with that knowledge, then start applying and adjust as you like. And you go, okay, cool, this is what this like paper says about training frequency. And if you go, you can't keep up with that training frequency, then again, like adjust it. And that's where that communication with your coach comes in, because a lot of time they have a lot of that knowledge. So if you then go, cool, I've been training twice a day for 5 days in a row, I'm so fatigued. Then they go, cool, like it's might not be the training frequency for you. So let's combine sessions, or let's take a session out here, let's give you an extra rest day. So I do think you need to experiment. It's a trial and error type of sport, right? And I think with every sport, because what works for you doesn't necessarily work for the next person. So I definitely think like, do your research, trial and error, but you have to have patience. And also, and I mean, I at one point for one show, I've prepped myself, and it is hard because you don't see the results within a week and then you want to change it. Like you have to, I mean, they say with a training program, you have to stick with it at least like 6 weeks. I mean, I sometimes like work out my training programs at the beginning of the year and I don't really change them much. I'll do the same if I start with legs, for instance. I'll do leg extension, squats, lunges, in let's say like hip thrust. That'll be my workout majority of the year. Like I won't necessarily change it, because you have to get strong in that like area. So it doesn't help you constantly changing, chopping and changing. Your body will never actually, if you look at like what we do as a physio, we give you one program. Once you've strengthened, we like almost want to say increase the difficulty, but we don't necessarily increase the change. We don't necessarily change the exercise. We still target exactly.
The tolerance and all that.
So, and I do think that's it's a long game. That's
Shout out. So for any bodybuilders that's like, or just people that are getting into the fitness world, take that advice. Go into depth, man. Like I always say this on my podcast. Like, find out the info that you need to find out that's necessary for you to become better. Don't just into social media influences. You don't know if they're just saying that because they want to get a like or comment or reaction from you. And then you also take that advice. Because that's what other guys like, you know, if you want to get biceps like me, all you got to do is masturbate.
You know what I mean? I promise you, there's people naive.
Yeah,
Trust me, there's
no,
naive people
100%.
like, oh, is that all it takes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's crazy.
So actually sit down and do the research like she said and come up with some better, you know what I mean, research that you can use.
Yeah.
One word that best describes you.
Fiery. Fiery. Look, the hair is definitely like it says it all.
I mean, the Instagram is going red.
Lady in red, and like everybody was always like, is it because of the hair? Is it because I used to only wear like red bikinis on stage and now I wear green? And someone was like, is it the bikini? Is it the hair? And I'm like, no. The lady in red is a personality.
Okay.
Like,
what is that personality like?
Like, so, I mean, it started with like my very first show, the guy who was coaching me. I was trying to decide on what color bikini I need to decide, like, wear on stage. And I was going towards like blue, green, and he was like, no, red.
What's my favorite color?
Same. Like everybody thinks it's red.
You gotta...
Yeah, that's my favorite color,
Nice.
the
Yeah,
earrings.
yeah.
And like I was like, yeah, blue, green, like that ocean vibe and whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, red for all the shit you gave me, because I'm feisty.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I stand my man. Like I know what I want. And I think that's the other thing. Look, and I almost want to like come back to the previous question.
Yeah.
And I've realized this as a academic, right? And I always say this, and I like say this to so many people, right? If you look at research, right? If, let's say we take the topic of the sky's blue, right? If you go out and you go do research, if you decide the sky is not blue, right? You will find evidence that tells you that the sky is not blue, right? But if I find evidence, I will find it, or if I go to research and I decide the sky is blue, then like I'll find evidence for the sky is blue, right? So you need to decide what your like, I almost want to say,
Your blue is.
what do you like? You need to have some kind of, I don't want to say like almost like standard and belief. Let's call it a belief, right? So, and then based on that, do your research and like stick with it, because there will always be someone who's going to try and convince you that you're wrong. And you need to be so strong. So there's that quote that says, if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that's one of my favorite ones, because I stand for what I believe in.
100%.
Right? So yes, I'll like have an open mind and I'll listen to you, but I'm still going to go do research about what you said to me. So sure, you just told me that the sky is not blue, and I'll go read up on it, but if what I read still doesn't convince me that the sky is not blue, then I don't believe this.
100%. Oh, that's deep. That's very deep. That's just, if you listen to that properly, you'll realize it's really deep. Because you said it.
You need to have your own belief system.
Yeah, that you can stand on. Because if you don't, like you say, you just fall for anything that people offer you.
And I think that's the problem with social media. I mean, there was a video the one day like that this guy goes, and it's brilliantly done. And it starts with like, you should eat cereal for breakfast. And the guy takes the cereal out, and then the next video comes, cereal's very bad for you. So he puts the cereal down, he makes eggs, and he goes, eggs is very bad for you. There'll always be someone who's going to convince you what you're doing is wrong. Right? There'll always be information. I mean, there's like pros and cons to everything. You need to decide, is that con really that bad for you, or is that pro really that beneficial to you?
100%. I agree with that.
But it comes down to knowing yourself.
And do you say you describe yourself as fiery?
I would say so. Like fiery, but also like, like I'm definitely, look, I say fiery, but I'm very like, focused. I don't want to say narrow-minded. Like I said, I'm actually very open-minded.
I don't think you're narrow-minded if you are focused on a certain goal.
It's not always about goals. Like it's about like, just, I want to say knowing who I am, standing up for who I am. Like, I was going to say like putting myself first, but not necessarily like to the detriment of someone else. Like I won't break you down, but I know, like I always say, like just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that this is what works for me, this is what works for you. We can work together in peace. It doesn't mean like just because I don't agree with you doesn't make you my enemy.
100%.
It just means I don't agree with you.
Fact. That's nice.
What can we expect from you 2025, going into 2025?
So I almost want to say same as every year. So put my head down. I'm just going to work. So look, I do want to work on my posing a little bit more. My posing clients. It's definitely picking up. I love my posing.
Yeah.
I want to change my own style of posing a little bit. I have something up my sleeve, and I always do. Yeah, like look, I'll definitely compete again this year.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
there's
want
no
to ask
doubt.
where, because we don't know what competitor is watching us. Oh, she's gonna be here.
Listen, I don't care. Bring
Okay,
it.
where are you competing?
So the goal is to do the 4th of May, the NPC show.
In Cape Town, right?
4th. I don't know where it is. They haven't released the locations yet.
Yeah.
So I just know that it's the Sunday, the 4th of May. That'll be my first regional. And then the goal and I just want to say the hope for this year is to actually do an international pro qualifier.
Nice. I believe
So,
you can do it.
Even if it's just for the experience, like I just want to like compare myself to those like the big fishes. So I don't, like I said, I don't know where that will decide. I still sit down with my coach, and like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I always go in with a like I said, a flexible mindset.
Yeah, like you said, you don't have an expectation that
There's
this is
always a
how-
backup plan. There's always I don't want to call it a way out, but yeah. So, but yeah, like the idea is to be able to do like an international show this year.
Beautiful.
And just keep improving. Like
100%.
at the end of the day, like it's not just, to me, it's not just about bodybuilding. It's about the lifestyle, the muscle mass, the pro physique, yeah.
That's nice. What a way to sum it up. But before we leave with the podcast, Grethe, we've got a quick game we're gonna play.
Okay.
It's simply gonna be, do you listen to music?
I do. I love music.
Hip hop?
Oh, you might catch me a little bit with that one, but cool.
Okay. Wait, what kind of music are you into?
Oh, like, so my playlists are so diverse. I always say like my playlist is bipolar.
Okay.
It depends. So like it can go from anything from like country music to old school music to pop to...
Name a few artists that you know that you just a few artists that you listen to.
That's so hard though.
No, like artists you just listen to.
In terms, okay, so let's go old school, Bryan Adams.
Okay.
Right. Bob Seger, the Beatles, right? Then I don't actually know my house music and my EDMs and those things. Like there's a lot of them I don't necessarily know the artist.
Yeah.
Country music, there's Warren Ziders, and then what's the other one? Morgan Warren. Morgan. I can't remember his surname, but yeah, those are the
top of
yeah. So,
Okay.
and then obviously you're like
hip hop or country. Which one do you prefer?
I probably have more of a base with like country.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You feel country more.
I feel it, yeah.
Okay. South African music or more international?
International.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't feel a local country that we're making here?
I don't know, like
Have you heard of Sister Bettina? In the meantime,
yeah, but I would say like more international.
international.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to the rap world. You got Jay-Z, I'm sure you know Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But you got Jay-Z and you got P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Which one you go with?
Sure.
Is that the genre? No.
Not really. Like that's more hip hop, isn't it?
At least very much more hip hop.
Hip-hop, rap.
More African hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I know Jay-Z stuff more, but I also don't know that much of Jay-Z stuff. So yeah.
But okay, cool. I think you've got me with that one. That's so cool. I think the genre we've got going on, because I don't know the country music world so much as well.
So there's been a lot of like influence if you look at like Post Malone moving over to a lot of country music and things like that. So, and I mean, it's picked up a lot. Like that country pop, if you look at like Shabuzi and like those people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's definitely picked up a lot more.
I didn't know Post Malone went to country music, bro. I thought the guy was a hip hop artist.
He was, but it's like the genres are blending so much. It's insane. I love it.
What's just happening?
Yeah.
The world is changing, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking around to the episode of Just Fit. Thank you for coming through, and please don't forget to hit that like button, comment if you have a comment to put down below, and then subscribe if you haven't. Please stay tuned for another episode. We are going to be having another athlete coming up. It's going to be a surprise. But stay blessed and thank you so much. We want to give thanks to Grethe Geldenhuys for coming through to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe and take care of yourself until the next episode. Peace and love.
Cheers.